And let's focus on Coinbase now. Reburn upgrading shares this morning to buy with a $417 price target. More on that in just a second. But shares have been moving higher this week, up nearly 20% since Monday and 160% off April's low. This week's rally has come as Bitcoin has moved nearly 10% higher and is just 3% off its all-time high, very much within arm's reach. Coinbase is the focus of the morning trade, and joining us now for a closer look is Schwab Network host Marley Kayden. Happy Friday to you, Marley. Reburn upgrading the shares this morning. What are the analysts saying about this?
Yes, good morning, Sam. Reburn did upgrade the shares. They're giving them a buy rating up from a neutral rating with a new price target of $417. That's up from $325. The firm says it still does expect some compression in the company's take rate over time, but it sees its retail volume growth as a way that could potentially help mitigate that. It says it sees quote unquote strong growth in Coinbase's institutional trading, reflecting its growing institutional adoption of crypto assets that we're seeing really broadly across the space, and the strength of the company's positioning following its investment into its derivatives capability. There was also a note from Goldman Sachs out this morning that raised its price target to $363 from $351. They maintained a neutral rating. Goldman slightly less bullish. They're actually implying a potential downside of about 3% from where shares are trading right now. KeyBank, though, also bullish on Coinbase, says that Coinbase, of the crypto correlated stocks, for lack of a better term, they say that they're the best positioned from the growing adoption of stable coins. But right now, price targets range from between 310 and 510. The consensus rating, about 50% buys for those who cover Coinbase, 37.5% hold, and 12.5% sell. So a bit of mixed sentiment here in terms of these crypto-tied companies, but we have seen crypto prices rise this past week after a massive sell-off we saw last week, and also amid concerns about the government shutdown, Sam. So, as we saw those crypto prices go up, we also saw companies like Coinbase and Strategy rise in sympathy because they're highly correlated with these price moves. Bitcoin now trading over 120,000 for the first time since August.
Yeah, and certainly we've seen that correlation when it's risk on with big cap tech as well. But as you say, so many positive tailwinds for the crypto space. So thank you so much for getting us across some of those analyst calls this morning. Marley, I'll catch you later. Well, let's trade it now with Dan Deming, who's the managing partner at KKM Financial. Very good morning to you, Dan, and happy Friday. How are you approaching your example trade for Coinbase?
Good morning. Yeah, so Marley brings up some good points there, as you guys discussed, as far as the momentum in this space, and going into Q4 historically the last couple of years has been a strong quarter for the crypto markets. And I think that that's going to manifest once again this year as you continue to see some of the momentum coming back into some of these names. Coinbase will benefit from that. So today's trade example is a short dated trade example, 14 days and October regular expiration. Looking at buying the call fly here to the October 380, 400, 420 call fly. You can do that for about $2.25. So define risk in this trade example. Capture zones are large to the upside. You can collect some theta on a daily basis. If we keep rising, you're going to see those options decay very rapidly. So I like the idea of having defined risk here and us having the opportunity to participate to further upside.
Dan, what your overall takeaways on the market action is today as we continue to see the S&P 500 grinding higher?
We do, and here we are putting in what appears to be new opening highs. We did see it trading higher overnight, but yeah, momentum continues to persist. I think there's probably a theme under this market that something's going to get done in this government shutdown. I think that that's one of the driving forces, and maybe even over the weekend, as far as why the market's acting the way it is. But overall, you'd have to say, as we continue to work through some of the challenges as far as data and the government shutdown, I mean, the market momentum is certainly continuing to maintain the upward trajectory of this market. And the broadening of the rally, I think, is something else, Sam, that should be pointed out. Look at the Danahars, Thermo Fishers of the market catching a bid now. So you're seeing a broadening of this rally continue, and I think that that's a strong metric for this market moving forward.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we are seeing most of the sectors in the green today, as we say. Some of the defensive names as well. Dan, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great weekend. Dan Deming, Managing Partner, KKM Financial.